Hey everybody, how's it going? As you can see, Micah is back on a bike and this is our first ride outside together since easily the start of December, maybe even end of November.
Yeah.
Partly because of the weather, illness, children, furlough, work, Christmas, you name it, we've got the excuses for it. But you've ridden your bike indoors a few times in January and this is now the first time out on the bike. It's also probably the best day of the year so far. It's unbelievably beautiful.
It is indeed. And tomorrow, off again.
Yeah, tomorrow's snow, isn't it? In Cornwall, it'll never happen. We think, though, we found the perfect leveler for us riding together, which is pretty cool. So today, I'm out on my mountain bike, which we all know what that looks like. Ta-da! Micah's on her e-bike. And the point of this is that me riding that bike with those mud guards, with the winter tyres that I've got on it, is genuinely quite hard work keeping up with the e-bike. So I've averaged, just to get here, for the 45 minutes it's taken from Truro to St Agnes Beacon, 270 watts. I don't know what our average speed is, I haven't got a lap speed for that. I think yours was nearly 15 miles an hour, so 24 kilometers an hour. But it's been seriously hard work, and I think that's quite a cool way of us actually riding together without one of us complaining we're cold, the other one complaining they have to go too fast when there's no assistance and things like that. Actually,
Yeah, it's quite nice, really.
It is nice, but it's not fair to say you don't actually complain that much, do you? I'm currently riding just my mountain bike, and I've got it set up as a complete winter bike. I've got these massive mud guards on it, which means that I stay pretty clean. Like I went for a mountain bike ride before we jumped on the ride together, and I'll show you a dirty arm in a second. It's not too bad at all. And it's just an all-purpose machine now. I've got my power meter on there. I've even got a little bag for carrying camera gear and little things like that. Just little things that make life a little bit easier, and I've kind of enjoyed getting used to it. So recently I've only been out on this and riding indoors because, to be really honest, whilst it is a lockdown in the UK, the roads are still really busy. Generally the roads are really wet and dirty, and it's just not a huge amount of enjoyment. So I'd rather ride this on like a gravel cross-country style ride than do any efforts in anything on the turbo trainer indoors. And that's what you've been doing as well, isn't it? Quite a bit of indoors riding.
A little bit of indoors riding indeed. Time to get back on the road in the hope that the weather stays nicer.
Well, spring's on the way, right? So it can only get better. But look at the view, look at that. If you think back to the last video that we did on Micah's fitness and her progression and everything like that, I showed you a graph on a program called Training Peaks, which tracks your fitness with that blue line. So we'll pop home in a minute and I'll show you what that's looking like now after a period of time away from the bike, time away from training, and then try and sort of go into detail about how quickly that will come back, and actually how it's only really a hypothetical line and it doesn't necessarily tell you how you're going to be feeling back on the bike. What's a slack head? So if we log back into Micah's Training Peaks and we just scroll back through the last few weeks, we'll find that on December the 7th, indeed, we did our last ride together. That's not December the 7th, that's the 2nd. There you go. You can see there's a duplicate in there, or there's an extra session. We'll have to check that one later. You can see that she scored 150 TSS on that final ride. But crucially, what does that do to her performance management chart? So you can see that today, or on the 25th of December rather, theoretically she had a fitness of 32, which is a little bit of a drop from what she reached back at the start of December or in November. However, when we compare that to the fatigue scores and today's scores, you'll see there's more information there. So today, 21 CTL, that's the chronic training load, that's the theoretical actual fitness that she has. However, that is with a freshness score of 16, whereas way back in December, she would have had a 44 CTL, meaning that is her theoretical freshness. So ultimately, that means that Micah is going to be able to gain fitness faster than she did last time, because her body has already been underneath this stress back in November and December. She's now fresher than she was when she was last at that theoretical or hypothetical fitness point, meaning that when she puts her body under the same stress again, it's going to respond a little bit faster. It's not going to find it as difficult, therefore she'll recover faster. Obviously, that's all hypothetical and theoretical. It's a blue line on a graph. It's based on algorithms and previous findings from test pools and things like that. It doesn't apply to everyone, and also it doesn't actually take into account real life, but as a guide, it's not bad.
Okay.
Get cleaned up by the dog. Right, there we go. 90 minutes, and for me, I averaged 240 watts on my power meter, which is quite a lot more than I was doing when I was riding the road bike with Micah. So I averaged between 160 and 180, which is fine. That's with the big aero fast wheels, but to be training, it's probably not quite enough. And that meant that I was going quite hard on the climbs to start with her, and then easing up a lot on the flat and the fast bits. Whereas now, it's much more even, like it's probably as close as we're going to get to making it a fair ride together, which is nice. You're the star of the show, aren't you? Where's Pippi? Go find the other one. How did you find it?
It was nice to get back out again.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have the e-bike, I think it would have been a lot harder to get back out again after some time off.
I think it would have been harder for me because I would have had to push you.
And now you had to keep up with me.
And now I had to push myself. It's probably the right way around, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, it was really nice. Good day for it as well, even though it was cold at times.
Yeah.
But it makes things a lot easier and a lot more pleasant to go back out.
Yeah, it's nice for me as well because it is nice having to chase you to keep up. It's different to what I'm used to doing when we ride together. And especially on that bike now with those tyres, proper winter mountain bike tyres, it's quite draggy on the road, and it's genuinely hard. For the first 25 minutes, I'd average nearly 300 watts, which whilst not like groundbreaking, is still hard. Once upon a time, I couldn't do that, so that's quite nice actually. That I now just do it on a normal ride with you. That's quite cool.
And it shows as well that even though I'm riding an e-bike, it shows that I'm still trying hard, because otherwise you wouldn't have to pedal that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Right, going forwards, there's going to be a lot of indoor riding from the pair of us. Not necessarily on this channel, so I'll let you know more closer to the time. But you're going to be doing some more indoor riding, aren't you? And I'm going to be doing quite a lot of indoor riding.
Yeah.
In the foreseeable future, which is something that we're quite excited about, I think. Be good for fitness, that's for sure. When the weather's bad, you just don't really want to be out on the road anymore, do you? Well, I don't. I say you. I mean me. Inflict my choices on everyone else. I quite like being on the mountain bike, and that's why I've ridden that a lot recently. I probably said that earlier as well, but getting off the road and getting to different places. Anyway, that's enough waffle from us. Hopefully you enjoyed the little bit of insight into Training Peaks a second ago. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing a little bit of an update from what Mike has been up to, getting back on the bike, and hopefully you just like the footage of Cornwall, because it's an absolutely stunning day. Like, we're out of the wind now. It was windy, wasn't it?
It was really windy, yeah. The headwind.
On the way out, it was brutal, yeah. But the tailwind on the way home was lovely.
Yeah.
Right, that's it from us. Hope you're staying safe and well. Look forward to seeing you again on another live video on Saturday evening at 8 PM. I've committed to that, so we'll go with it. Otherwise, we will see you again there.
Bye.